Hey, welcome back to Holistically Healthy TV. I am your host, Jim Burdumy, and today is episode 20 of Holistically Healthy. So I'm really excited about that. It's also Monday, which means it's Movement Monday. If you've been following me along on social media, you know I have different themes for different days of the week. So today is movement, and we're going to be talking about breathing again. So before, I can't exactly remember which episode it was, we were talking about taking breath breaks and the importance of that and how you can really just kind of calm down and relax and get into your breath. But today, I wanted to talk to you about one, how to breathe, and two, upside down breathing. Most people have a completely upside down or inverted breathing pattern. So let's talk about that today. Let's get right into it. So what is upside down breathing, you may ask? Upside down breathing is an inverted breathing pattern where someone is not using the natural mechanics of the body and they're getting a shallower breath than they should be. So the first 2/3 of any person's breath should really come from the belly, and the last third should come from the chest. So we're breaking the breath down into 3 sections now. A lot of people are what I call chest breathers, where they're only breathing through their chest. So you ask someone to take a really deep breath in, and you can try this at home right now. You say, take a really deep breath in, and they go, okay, I don't know if you can see that, but what happened was my chest just completely lifted up, and if you were able to see it, some of my neck muscles completely activated, which can really put a lot of strain on your neck over a long period of time. And my stomach went in, so you tell people to suck in their belly. A lot of times you'll hear them inhale, say, draw in your belly or suck in that belly. They go, and they couple inhalation with sucking the belly in. And this is where that inverted breathing pattern comes in. The way that we're supposed to breathe is the way that a baby breathes or a young child breathes, if you've ever watched or noticed how they breathe. So when they take a breath in, the belly actually expands and goes out. And maybe you've heard this before, but some people don't really understand why, or some people actually don't even really like it. I've told this to people before, and they say, well, I don't have my belly come out when I breathe in. I already am self-conscious about my belly. I want it to go in. So I'm like, well, the thing is that you're not getting enough oxygen to the body. And all you have to do is just Google lack of oxygen on Google, and you'll see all of the different symptoms of lack of oxygen and what can happen. I mean, heck, after 3 minutes, how many brain cells a minute start dying without oxygen? So it's pretty high on the totem pole as far as priority goes for the body, to keep the body oxygenated and obviously to keep it alive. So we have this sheet of muscle called the diaphragm that actually lines the rib cage and at the bottom of the lungs. And the reason that the belly is supposed to expand is that when we inhale, the diaphragm contracts and it pushes down on those organs, which causes expansion in the belly. So that also, when the diaphragm goes down, creates a little bit more room in the thoracic cavity. So again, the first 2/3 of the breath should be coming from the belly, and then at the very end, you should see the chest raise up. When we're doing this, I mentioned before about the neck flexors, the neck muscles right here. They're not being activated when we're breathing the right way. If we're just breathing through our chest, you can see this, I go, now it's a little exaggerated, but it's still happening. So it's just happening on a lesser scale. So we breathe roughly 25,900 times a day, which is a ton of breathing, right? So the thing is that with every single breath, the neck muscles could be activated. Well, nobody in America has neck pain today, do they? So this could be contributing to someone's neck pain by having a faulty breathing pattern. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to lay down, which is why I'm laying down, because it's so much easier to practice this while you're laying down. So when you're waking up first thing in the morning to kind of wake yourself up, you could try this. And when you're winding down at nighttime, ready to go to bed, you can try this. Or if you're laying down on your couch watching TV or stretching or whatever it is, try to focus on this. You're gonna have to give yourself little mental cues to practice this. So I mentioned before that we talked about breath breaks in a previous episode. And during your breath breaks, you're definitely gonna wanna use this technique for breathing to get the most oxygen that you possibly can. So one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. When you inhale, you're going to, if it doesn't feel real natural to you, then you can start to just gently push your hand up with your belly, and you're always gonna breathe in through your nose, because we have parasympathetic nerve endings. Parasympathetic is part of the autonomic nervous system, which is our rebuild and anabolic system. And parasympathetic nerve endings line the inside of the nose. When we breathe in through the nose, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system as opposed to the sympathetic nervous system, which is when we breathe through the mouth. So that's a whole other topic. But if you do breathe through the mouth, you're activating the parasympathetic nervous system. And I would advise you to start breathing through your nose. So one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest, and you're going to think about breathing in through the nose and having the belly expand. And then at the very end, you might notice your chest start to raise up, and that would be the right way to breathe. Now, there is actually a progression to this, which I'll cover in another episode. For right now, I'm just going to keep it really simple for you. We're just going to focus on having the belly come up and having the chest come up at the very, very end. If you keep feeling your chest raising up, just keep practicing. Again, you're going to have to give yourself cues. This isn't going to happen overnight, but this is your homework for the next week. Think about it every single day. Notice how you're breathing, just even halfway through the day. Notice, am I breathing through my chest or am I breathing through my belly? Okay, and your belly's not expanding that much where if you are self-conscious about your abdominals or your midsection or whatever it is, it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, the person looks pregnant. It doesn't come out that far. It's just the natural breathing mechanics that we should be having, and it comes out maybe, like a little bit. So don't worry about that. Don't be self-conscious about that. So this is your homework for the next week. I want you to give this a try. Question of the day for you. I want to know what you guys did over the weekend, whether you're a mother or whether you celebrate a Mother's Day. What did you guys do over the weekend for that amazing woman or women in your life to help them celebrate? So please leave that in the comments below. Also, please subscribe. If you're on YouTube watching this, or if you're on Facebook, give it a thumbs up. Please connect with me so we can stay in touch, and you can always know exactly when I have another video coming out. So this was my tip of the day for you. Please stay tuned for the next episode, because together, you and I, we're getting healthier every day.